up you guys, this is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Snapshot, we're going to be taking a look at some playtesting results from Titania's, Inaros' and Ivara's latest augments, and then in gameplay, we're going to be talking about why I lumped them all in together in one video. Now you can pick the following augments for 25,000 standing once you've reached rank 5 with the respective syndicates. Titania's Beguiling Lantern can be found with New Loka and the Red Veil. Inaros' Negation Swarm can be found with the Parent Sequence and the Arbiters of Hexus, while Ivara's Piercing Navigator can also be found in the Parent Sequence as well as Cephalon Suda. So starting off with Titania's Beguiling Lantern, this one is pretty simple. All attractive enemies take 100% more melee damage. Now, as you can see from the following clip, with no power strength whatsoever, I'm doing 1,750 points of damage on a crit. However, add in Transient Fortitude, and now I am doing 1,920. Next up is Inaros' Negation Swarm. This protects him from status effects, but consumes 3% of his bonus armor for each effect resisted. Now, after additional playtesting, I can 100% confirm that there is no way to reduce the 3% bonus armor that gets consumed. In addition, I've heard some people saying that this has an internal cooldown of like 5 seconds, but I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. I've been under status as heavy fire, and to be honest with you, I haven't seen a single goddamn thing pull through, so I don't know what they're talking about. Now, I had a lot of people asking me about knockdowns on this one, and I went ahead and tested it out. So the knockdowns from Grenier Heavies are completely resisted outright. However, it does seem like a lot of the Corpus and Infested knockdowns are actually converted into pop-ups instead. In addition, I wanted to make note that any terrain-based abilities, kind of like Mutalisk Gas Clouds or Grenier Fire Patches, will still deal damage to you. However, their proc effects will be completely resisted. So don't go running into those thinking that you are completely immune from the damage. And lastly, Samaras Navigator. This one increases the projectile's chance to crit by 10% up to a max of 50% for each enemy it strikes. Now, I did a bit of playtesting on this one because I was hell-bent on getting red crits with this without the use of a kitty, and the only way that I was really able to do it through the use of the mod was with the Sharada and using the Naramon Focus. Every other weapon that I tried this out with just didn't have the crit or the punch through to score enough points through Piercing Navigator. And just in case I haven't made it clear, the 50% bonus is actually additive and not multiplicative, so that means you're gonna get 50% max no matter what. So all in all, while these mods are a bit of fun, and some even come in handy like Inaros' Negation Swarm, admittedly, they're nothing that I would like build around. Like, they're nothing like Loki's Irradiating Disarm, Frost's Ice Wave Impotence, or Necros' Despoiler Shield of Shadows, and even more recently, Neja's Pyroclastic Flow. These don't really inspire any new or different kind of gameplay, they're just kind of there, admittedly. Now, you guys have seen all of the stats and all of the facts, so if that's all you're here for, you're good to go. But if you want to stick around for a little bit more of a discussion as to what I think that we could probably do with these mods to really create a new build, to really create some excitement around these mods and really change up the way that these Warframes play, then stick around for some gameplay. For some gameplay. Okay, so if I'm gonna be completely real with you, the reason why I lumped all of those damn videos together was mainly because of the fact that there was no way that I was gonna be able to make like cool and interesting builds for those augments. Like, I mean, they're just augments that you just kind of slot in, you know? There was nothing like all super unique about them that kind of like made you want to change your gameplay or do something, you know, completely different. I mean, the only other real like super good one that I thought was fantastic was like the Inaros one. I thought that one was really cool. However, what does it do to your gameplay? Does it change anything? No, it's legitimately like, hey, you don't have to worry about status anymore. Cool, be happy, and that's it. And the reason why I kind of gave Neja his own, like, you know, his own independent one was because that actually required, you know, a different build. That actually required, you know, you to take a look at a different ability that you don't usually mod for, and it really made you kind of like say, oh, well, I can do this with him instead of what I normally do. And that really got me interested, as opposed to Titania's Lantern build, which legitimately is just basically any of her other like normal builds, except you have to give up a slot for it. And the thing about the Lantern build that really got me was like, it's not even all that fucking fantastic if I'm gonna be completely real with you. Because if you really think about it, like, lanterns are like flying all over the place. It's usually made for zone control. It's not something that you can really tie yourself down to anything specific. Hold on. take care of this a little bit. One of the things that I've been loving lately, which has nothing to do with Inaros' augment really, is abilities that negate status effects. I've been like really super into, like, I'm like, ooh, look at that, look at you, Oberon, nullifying those status effects. That's really nice of you. Definitely fond of that. However, if we get back to it, basically what's kind of happening in my head is primarily the fact that, like, we need something different, and we need something, like, interesting to really make me want to build it. Oh, I'm not paying attention to Kuva at all. So I was thinking, like, what can we do to these augments? What could we do to these augments to make them different, to make them interesting enough to warrant a completely different build for them? You know what I mean? To make you rethink your builds. Now, the Inaros one is kind of basically the Inaros one. I mean, you're not really going to do anything super different with that. The Inaros one is what it is. However, the one thing that I wanted to do for Titania is, wouldn't it be cool if she, you know, you got the 100% melee bonus, and the lantern was now tethered to Titania. So now you had this lantern that you drag around, would drag around while it's still alive. And you get the melee boost from it too. So now it's not floating all over the place, and you can almost make Titania into this weird CC tank. You know how, like, Equinox with her, what is it called? Her Peaceful Provocation turns herself into a debuff tank. Basically, it slows everything in the area, and the closer you are to an enemy, the less damage the enemy will do to you. So she turns into this cool debuff melee tank. Why couldn't we make Titania a CC, you know, a CC-based melee tank, right? It's not really technically being tanky, but it's using CC to create, like, this faux tankiness, right? So that I'm really, that thought I was kind of into. I was like, and all you really have to do is just add a tether, right? So now Lantern is tethered to Titania, and on top of that, she gets the melee damage bonus. So it almost is like, hey, here's this, like, little shield, this little CC shield that you got that will allow you to become this, like, fake melee-driven fairy. And I think that would warrant, you know, that would warrant a different build. That would warrant something, you know, reassessing what she can do and kind of saying, alright, let's play around with her in a different way. Now, what I was thinking for with Ivara, now Ivara's kind of frustrated me, and I might need some of your help. You know, I always ask, but even with arrows, like Navigator, there's like not that many things that you can get that much punch through for, you know what I mean? Like, even with arrows have a decent amount of punch through, but not like, I'm not gonna say anything past 5, so you get your 50%, critical bonus chance, right? But then you don't get to use it on anything else. It's just like you hit 5 things and you're done. And it's kind of like, at least with the glaives and stuff like that, you know, with the use of those, you'll get to hit multiple targets and actually make use with that 50%, right? I tried it with, like, I played around with a whole bunch of different things, and I was kind of like, okay, so I could maybe hit 2 things with this, and it doesn't seem to scale with power strength, so it's not like power strength is going to give you, instead of 10%, it gives you 20%, you know, per strike. It doesn't increase the amount you get per strike, it's always that fixed 10. So I was like, well, this is kind of boo-boo. I was like, what, this is, like, not rewarding to use. This is basically like, alright, well, you're gonna get 2 hits off, and, you know, you basically sacrifice the mod slot for, what, 20-30% crit chance? Cool. On Navigator, which is more of, like, a for fun ability. So I was like, well, why don't you, in addition to doing whatever Navigator is doing now, also give it punch through, so your weapons or your projectiles now gain punch through based on your power strength. So you know, it starts off at 10 meters, and then with power strength you get more punch through. So now that almost dictates a specific kind of gameplay. You know, it's almost like encouraging you to switch things up and to really kind of like change things. I don't know what they're all doing over there, they're crazy. But it's kind of like, alright, that would be something worth modding for, you know? Or almost like, you know, do 10% crit chance, but also, you know, get a refund back on a little bit of your energy for each enemy that you strike. So that way, almost incentivizes you to play Ivara in a completely different way. And I think that makes mods, these augment mods, more rewarding, rather than, oh, it just mildly changes what I do with Ivara. It just mildly changes what I do with Titania. Like, we need things that really switch things up, like Inaros' not Inaros. Oh my god, Necros' Despoil. Hey, listen, they're both like undead creature things. Like Inaros' Despoil, which made you look at Equilibrium a different way, which made you look at health conversion a different way. You know, it's like those augments that really excite me, and these ones just kind of didn't, to be honest with you. They just kind of fell flat. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about these augments in the comments below. Tell me if you feel like these changes would make it interesting, because really what I was going for was I wanted small changes. I didn't want these big, crazy, dramatic changes, because I know some of y'all are gonna be like, well, I would have made an augment that turns Titania into a dragon when she uses Lantern. Shut up. Calm down with that. We're just little tweaks, okay? Not this whole, well, I would make Ivara's projectile turn into a dragon with this augment. Shut up. Tone it down just a little bit. But yeah, aside from, you know, the people that are gonna go crazy with their suggestions in the comments below, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think these little changes would actually help, or, you know, what changes you would suggest, little changes you would suggest to really kind of make, you know, these augments redefine the way that you play a Warframe. Do you like that thought that augments can redefine, like, the way a Warframe plays? Because I really did. That's what happened with me and Naja. So let me know how you feel, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.